Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Michigan here with another random battle replay for you. And this time, I am featuring Munos on Serene Coast in his Object 780. Now, I spoke to Munos before this replay when I was watching it the first time about what he likes on the 780. And he said he loves that it rolls high. 530 is much higher, not much higher, but a decent bit higher than most Soviet heavy tanks at 490, as well as its accurate gun. So Munos here has decided to go to the island first, joined by the Mars, which is just a reskinned Progetto 46 and a T10. The rest of the team has opted to go north and middle with that Hawk 30 spotting the low ground over there on the 3 line. So Munos is going to take a fairly aggressive spot here early, looking to catch tanks as they cross. So we'll see what he's able to get out of this. Unfortunately, he's going to just miss the T10, a very quick and maneuverable Tier 9 heavy tank that leads to the Object 277. But he does have the opportunity to engage this Progetto 66, who just took a hit there from the Allied T10 over there on the far side of the peninsula. Now this Progetto 46 is going to come flying around the corner. Munos is going to put a very well-aimed shot into his side, damaging both the tracks, shooting into that drive wheel, and the tank itself, rolling for 608. A roll that you don't get on most heavy tanks, but when you have 530 Alpha, you do. The Progetto 66 is going to come in again. Munos is going to angle, sort of side-scraping against the rock, causing that Progetto to bounce. He's going to bounce the second shell. Munos is just about reloaded. He's going to look to put another shot in, right into the angled plate, one of the weak points of that Progetto 66 when it's trying to angle towards you, finishing off that Tier 9 heavy tank. Now he's got this T10 over here to his left, looking for a shot, but it looks like that T10 is just hanging out behind a rock there, and this Tortoise. Tortoise isn't going to pay attention, putting in a low roll there, 497 into the Tortoise's back, looking for that drive wheel shot again, but not going to get it, maybe because of that Tortoise's side skirts that protect his attention a little more. As Munos comes forward, the Tortoise is going to put a shot into his side. That is a very dangerous Tier 9 British tank destroyer that doesn't have the best damage per shot, but it does have a outstanding rate of fire as well as a fantastic damage per minute. Tortoise is going to take a shot there at the Mars in the back. Munos is going to put a well-aimed APCR shot into that Tortoise's turret, low rolling again for 491. Still a healthy roll, bringing that Tortoise down to just a touch over 1,000 hit points. The rest of his team on the island aren't doing well. Tortoise is going to put another one in there. Munos is now trading against this Tortoise, but he's going to roll for 541, just about making up for some of his other rolls, bringing that Tortoise down to a one-shot. Tortoise does not want to hang around. Munos is going to look for that lower plate this time, but the Tortoise has great armor other than that cupola, and it's not going to pen. Luckily, the Tortoise doesn't get one into him, as he already put one into the VZ-55 over there behind him. Rest of the team isn't doing too bad. They're up 2 kills, they're down 1,000 hit points, still early on in the game. One thing of note, though, is that that Munos' team has not managed to take the hill. But they are winning the island. Munos is going to put a fantastic, another drive wheel shot, actually a rear suspension shot there for 637 into that T10, bringing him down to just over 700 health. Looking for another one, the T10 wises up, pulls back, VZ decides to engage the Tortoise. Nobody's going to win there. T10 is angled just too much. Munos is going to take out his track, but not much else. The Allied T10 there is looking for shots. I presume he's probably getting shot by the enemy tank destroyers over there at K7. Tortoise comes out again. Munos reverses as the Tortoise just fired, catching him on reload, putting in 471 damage to finish off that tank destroyer. Munos' team is now down a little bit more, about 2,200 health, but they are still up 2 kills. They have managed to push quite aggressively through the middle, though the 2 tanks that managed to do that, the Hawk 30 and the Progetto 65, took quite a beating for it. The VZ is going to make a bit of a misplay there, going out, again exposing himself to all the TDs. Munos is going to try as well. He's going to get hit by the Leopard, but it's going to bounce, and the only damage he's going to take is that Scorpion G. An unknown vehicle hit him as well, damaging his tracks, but it looks like he kind of got lucky there. Putting in a solid shot of 540 into that T10, and the Allied T10 there is going to finish off that tank, pretty much clearing out this island. Now one of his teammates, the T10, is going to ping where that Contracaro is. Maybe he got hit by him. But Munos is going to sit up here looking for a shot. Something lit him there. Not quite sure what that could be, as the enemy light has been killed already in the platoon with their Progetto. And the team has fallen to a 5-4 lead, but still winning. They're still holding quite solidly on the AB line. The Progetto 46 moves up here with Munos, but they've stalled a little bit on this island as they're not really able to spot anything up there on that K7 cliff over there. Munos is moving this tortoise out of the way in anticipation of maybe getting a shot up there. The T-54 Mod 1 has decided to be a team player, not that he wasn't before, and he's going to move up and spots the Contracaro that may have shot that T-10 earlier. Munos is looking for a shot, but the T-10 finishes him off. Looking for a shot of that Minotauro. Unfortunately, he has a great turret, and he's not going to go through that. Misses out there on a shot on the Scorpion G. However, that Scorpion is in a position where if he does not move, or if he is unable to stay unspotted, he is going to get killed. And Munos puts in a great 609 roll. The T-10 is going to blind fire and finish off that Tier 8 German turreted tank destroyer with pretty much no armor whatsoever. Munos is going to move up again. He's going to get spotted again. And with the T-54 dead, Munos is the furthest tank up on this peninsula. Spots the Leopard. Leopard is only showing a little bit of tank. Munos is going to fire a not fully aimed shot. Going to get a little bit lucky there. And actually is getting all of the spotting damage on that Leopard. 684 to be exact. Putting up to 912 spotting damage. And just under 5,500 damage himself. Also notably blocking just over 1,200 damage. This tank doesn't have the greatest armor, but it's also fairly decent, especially for its speed. He's backing out of this position now. Doesn't really want to have to deal with that Tier 9 TD. Going to head up to this initial spot. The team is now even out at 7-7, down 3,100 hit points. The middle has been completely lost. And the enemy team still control the C1 hill. Minotauro seems to be moving up this way. Munos is looking for a shot, not really going to get it, as that Minotauro is hanging out behind the small ridges that dot this island. At this point, Munos decides that he really doesn't want to hang out here anymore, and he's going to decide to work a different area of the map. Waiting around just for a second to see if the Minotauro is going to push up. Minotauro doesn't, just hanging out, and he's going to leave the VZ-55, the Progetto, and the T-10 to handle that Italian TD. Now you can start to see again the fairly good speed of this Tier 10 reward vehicle. Not even reward vehicle, I think it's just a special one as it was available in the auction. He calls for the VZ-55 to head back. VZ-55 hasn't yet responded. The T-10 says he can't. He may actually be trapped there with the Leo overwatching where the Scorpion G was killed. But Munos is going to make his way back over to the middle. The enemy team has taken the 3-line, reversing where the Progetto 65 and the Hawk 30 were playing, and are now severely threatening the two Tier 9 tank destroyers that are supporting the Progetto 66 on Munos' team. Upon getting these tanks within his render range, the situation is a little more bleak than it was before, as his team is now down almost 4,000 hit points and are severely outpositioned by the enemy team. We still have an unspotted 252U who appears to be moving up the middle. Munos is going to look for him, not seeing anything yet, using this bush in front of him possibly to block against that 252U, spotting him from behind some of these houses. Looking for shots on that UDES 1516, S-Conk, both blocked by the building. The M5Y is below the dip, so he's not going to get shots on any of them. 1222 TM is also behind the hills, and there's the 252U. Just missed his opportunity as the 252U slips behind the roof of the building he's directly in front of, and is going to start pushing up against the cliff here. Spots Munos, causing the SU-122 to shoot him. Luckily that bounces, so he's able to retain his 1,100 hit points. Now decides to swap to standard rounds, as he only has 2 APCR left, and his team now being down 7-9. He wants to conserve those, especially with that Minotauro still lurking around on the island. It should also be noted those two tanks were able to escape and make it back. Unfortunately, it does leave the island open, but they are able to better support the remaining tanks on this side, who have now fallen all the way back to A7. The Waffenträger was the furthest tank up, but he was then killed by that M5Y, who moved up through the low ground. Munos' team is down another tank, down 7-10. Just under 4 minutes to play there. 4 minutes and 40 seconds left on the clock. Plenty of time for a comeback. We'll see if Munos is able to pull that off with his team. Munos is going to work through the middle now, possibly thinking that the 252U is moving down the C line, looking to get in through this way, and he's working to block it off. However, there's now the risk of being shot from the peninsula since it is unspotted and uncovered. A lot of destructible buildings here, giving the opportunity to shoot through some of them, but also get some extra cover. There's the Minotauro. He has moved all the way up, and unfortunately, he is still on full health. That is going to be a difficult tank to contend with. Munos is looking around, catches the Leopard slacking, finishes him off for 252. The Progetto has decided to join him, so Progetto is hanging out with him for quite a bit of the battle. Munos manages to use the destructible shed to cover him. The Progetto is going to bounce off of him. But with that 122 TM having a fairly long reload, about 15 seconds, Munos is going to reload before him and finishes off that tank as well for his 4th kill this game. Bringing his team up from being down 7-10 up to 9-10. The Minotaur is now moving up again, engaging this T10 that was working with him earlier. And Munos is going to go over and see if he can support that T10 with this engagement, leaving the Progetto here to cover the middle. They are now only down 2,000 hit points with just over 3 minutes to play. But with all the enemy tanks in sight, it shouldn't be an impossible task to finish this game off. For either team, I should mention. Munos requests that the T10 falls back. The T10 is more than happy to oblige, as he does not want to deal with that TD, who has probably already caused him enough heartache. Should be noted that T10 has done a nice job there on 3 kills. The Minotaur is going to bounce to the first round. Munos is looking for a shot, aiming down on that front plate. Unfortunately, he's going to pull back a little early, and that TD is going to bounce his shot. Looking for a shot there on the Cupola, but as that is a TD, though it's really more of a heavy with a semi-traversable turret, is going to go dark behind the couple of pine trees that are over on this side of the map. 252U is looking around the corner. The T10 has fallen back to the A7 position, now possibly engaging the M5Y. The Progetto 46 is going to get a nice side shot, finishing him off. Munos is looking for a shot on the Contra Caro, who rolls for 375. That tank does have a 400 alpha gun, and there is the 2-minute timer. 4 tanks left to 5 on the enemy team. The Contra Caro, now we see that he bounces 320 alpha, so he does not actually have the top gun. And Munos is going to get a solid 535 roll in there. It looks like the VZ55 is going to get a nice roll. Munos with his 551 is going to bring that TD down to just 28 health, and it shouldn't be too difficult to finish him off. Minotauro is now backing off, and Munos is going to get a nice roll into the lower plate as the Minotauro hits him in the track for no damage. It is now 11-11, pretty much dead even, with just 1,000 hit points separating the two teams. But with 1 minute and 15 seconds, Munos' team is going to have to hustle, as well as the enemy team, if they want to finish this game off. Progetto and the VZ are still pretty much pinned, as well as the T10. Neither of them can move. That Udez is on low health, but he's probably not going to expose himself. There's the 1-minute timer. Munos is going to go across to the island to see if he can't maybe get some side shots on these tanks that are pinning the Progetto down, and we'll see what he's able to do here. 45 seconds left, looking through the bushes. Just 3,000 hit points, now 2,500 as he puts in a 560 roll, separating the two teams. Now pretty much dead even here. But 30 seconds left, and both teams are going to have to do a lot of work if either of them want to win this game. Munos is going to push across this bridge. Progetto is moving in to engage the 252U. 2,200 left, about 2,000 on each team. But with 15 seconds left, it's looking fairly bleak. Munos is at 7,700 damage now, with the kill there on the 252, puts him just over 8,000, 8,009 to be exact, 2,700 blocked, and 1317 assists, and the timer runs out. An unfortunate result for Munos, gaining his 6th kill there with the 252U, and his 8,000 damage for this to be a draw. But what a game. It was just within reach of both teams. They just needed another minute to play there. So great result. Let's take a look at the post game. So Munos is going to finish with a mastery badge, as I would hope, for his 8,000 damage. Bruiser, Duelist, Fire for effect, obviously, Shell Proof. He's going to get a Top Gun for his 6 kills, a Steel Wall as he took a good chunk of damage, as well as his blocked, and a High Caliber. Looking at his team score, he finished top on XP earned, damage, and kills there. And he's going to actually make money on this game with some battle payments and some personal missions that he got, making 56,000. He fired 24 rounds, 22 of which hit, and 18 penned. Solid result there. Most players do not get a chance to fire that many in this vehicle. And he drove quite a bit, it should be noted, just under 4 kilometers. You don't often see rotations in random battles, mostly just in competitive play. But Munos was able to rotate and support his team the best he could, racking up a decent amount of mileage. Luckily, you don't have to pay in gas, or pay for any gas in this game. Total with his premium and all of his missions, he's going to get 2,000 XP for this. Very good result. Thank you so much for sharing it. I look forward to more solid replays from you. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one. See ya.